Give me the feeling you're going for.
That's Rocky Horror Picture Show. Never cared for it. I fucking hated it. I didn't finish it. I hated it that much.
Fair enough.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wildly Uninteresting Podcast, episode 127. 127. You know, ever since we talked about like forgetting the episode number when we spoke about it, I've forgot it every time. I have it right on the laptop before we even start. And then when we start, I'm like, 120, I don't know.
Under pressure.
Yeah,
I don't know.
For the Drinky Show, I've just started saying, episode 30-something, I don't care.
Let me just go back and edit it in later, like voice over it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man.
127.
I just leave it. I just put it in the description.
That's
as long as you can find it by searching it. Doesn't matter what you're watching.
Welcome back to the show for the 127th episode.
127 episode.
I didn't know which one to say. We appreciate you joining us again.
607 episodes.
This is a chill podcast. If you were coming here to learn anything or to further your education on finance,
you can get fucked. We don't know anything.
Any motivational stuff, you can write that off. You probably want to kill yourself
every once in a while.
We do. I think so, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You're a pretty loving dude.
We just gave him motivation to get fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Get you some strange.
No, welcome back to the show. It's been a fun little week. We took a day off work to go film.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. All three of us went to go film something.
I cut into the middle of my day.
Yeah, I was just saying, you had to take off.
But it was glorious. Yeah.
I think it was pretty much worth it. So usually, when we film Jasper stuff, I take like minimal equipment. We don't do live audio, which was a new one for me. We don't do live audio, and it's always like a track in the back, and then you lip sync to it, and then you in post you just mix them together and sync.
Everybody understands the process, Adam.
Not everybody.
Nobody does.
But
no one.
All right. Then we hit all three of the options.
That's right.
We So it was odd to do that portion of it made me super nervous to get it, and that's why we did like 3 different types of audio. Mm-hmm. One failed, by the way, and that was due to the program to which we were recording onto.
Which was the best?
The best was only one. Yeah. Well, no, the lav mic did well, but when he was getting very like amped up and stuff, he put it too high here, and it needed to be on his jacket like mid chest. So we had that, and then
it's his fault. No. You can't mic yourself for shit, Lance.
One was my fault.
Yeah. Kind of not, though.
Half my fault, half his.
Yeah. But
I'm the only blameless one in all of
Absolutely.
this.
You did everything right.
Yeah. That's why I was like, when I got those videos, it's like, I was like, there's no way. But
he fucked up the biggest. How is this?
So we were like, we had this conversation. He specifically asked.
Maybe I was high.
Yeah.
Maybe, but do better.
You can be high all you want, but don't fuck up.
Yeah, seriously.
Be clutch, bitch.
But I noticed too, because before all this, I did all this like studying and shit, and I realized that people online or on YouTube, YouTube is a very niche place, right? So you'll find somebody you really, really like and they do video. And you'll find somebody you really like and they do audio. And then you find somebody you like and they do editing and post. And it's like, how many people do you know, like, try to learn it all and incorporate it? You know what I mean? You can't, it's not like a one-stop shop for anything.
It could be you.
I know that's
one-stop shop, Adam.
I'm telling you, but I think I fell on a lot of things because you try to like learn it all, and you had to hit all the marks at one time. So we did 3 different types of audio.
Right.
Like,
whatever. Just start your own channel about that. Call it the Bodega.
The Bodega,
and then be done with it.
Definitely,
because that would be awesome.
I've thought for a while. I was like, as far as like a channel, like me, a camera, and talking, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck am I going to talk about? Because most people do, like, a niche market, and then they're like, whatever. But if I'm into, like, 12, 20 different things, how do you make a channel about 20 different things? I just
told you. It's the Bodega. It's the one-stop shop.
Yeah.
I like it.
You can do it. Just make videos about whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have a color-coded system for like topics. Yeah.
I got you, and so people know, like, that's not the. I don't want to watch that shit about whatever.
And then,
it
like
is.
in the thumbnail, you could have the lighting be like red or purple or whatever.
Ooh.
And they're like, oh, this is that kind of thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that idea, dude. Look at you coming up with
Look at
like
me.
bright ideas. It's not.
Well, and
that's
that's,
awesome.
I mean, it's your.
I've had this in the vault for 5 years, buddy.
No, you haven't.
Just load it
Yeah,
up in the
okay.
gun, ready to go.
It's your channel though, so you could make it about anything you want.
Yeah, no, that's the weirdest thing, because I would like to sit there and just talk shit to the camera, or like talk about just really anything, like whatever pops into the head, just like, hey, and then
There are
but
people
you
who
know,
do that too.
yeah, it makes
So-
you wonder too. We've been posting videos, which I think our content, of course, I think our content is good.
Well,
I think we chill, we hang
I
out.
mean, I'm mostly just objecting to the idea of it being content.
It's not content.
That's true.
And that's I always wonder. I'm like, we've been up for that long, and we get the same amount of views, the same amount of people listen and stuff. And I've tried to like put money into it to where we get seen by other people. And I realize how hard it is to actually. People think that like just get a channel, you put out videos, and that's the next thing you're getting paid by YouTube and shit. And it's definitely not that way. And I think that being seen is the hardest part about it, because you have a lot of people in front of you.
Yeah, but our problem is that we don't have an avalanche of cats in any of our videos.
That is our problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sarah, get on that.
I consider it done. Next time you come over, we're gonna have 15 cats. We're ready.
Ready with the cats.
Every once in a while, we have a cat in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, very few and far between.
It's
Not
unfortunate.
enough.
No, not enough at all.
But that's what something good about your show is, Niche, because you can drink and review, and people like review videos.
Yeah.
The most recent one, I fucked up the original take, and I had to redo it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't have to. I could have just left it. But yeah,
The one in
the
your
Casper.
coat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a Casper's coat, but
Yeah.
she came home and I was like half a bottle in.
Oh, Jesus.
That's why I took the podcast where she was on the last podcast. There's a big segment in there where everybody at the table like proceeds to berate me and call me a bitch. I don't know if you remember this. And I thought it was so funny how she said, "You ain't nothing but a bitch," like the way, because you wouldn't see it coming from Casper, dude.
No.
And then in your video, like out of nowhere, she's like, "You ain't but a bitch," and I was like, "There it is again." It's a straight just replay that over and over again.
It lives on.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Should definitely make like a 20-second video of that.
Yeah,
You ain't nothing but a
bitch.
bitch. You ain't nothing but a bitch.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't know at the time. I remember her saying it, but I was like, I didn't know everybody at the table were like, bitch, 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 bitch. I was like, God damn.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, I was over there editing. I was like, motherfuckers, I ought to cut
That's
this out.
awesome. I can't wait to watch it.
Trim everything you bastards said.
Mute everybody but me.
That's awesome. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sending me. I want to say
You're
something.
welcome.
The Freemasons podcast.
Yeah.
If people who watch this haven't watched that, it's actually you know how new things, everybody's always like, you beat around the bush about new things, and then you finally get the opportunity to view it, and then you're pleasantly surprised. That is the Freemasons podcast. Depending on where you stand on certain things, I think
Doesn't matter where you stay.
Gotta
As
be
long as you're
open-minded.
open-minded.
It's magical.
Yeah.
it is. It was that episode is a good one to send to people. I sent that to a few friends. I sent it to Mike. I was like, this is a good one to enter on, and it was just the thing that he said that kind of fucked me up. He was talking about the clay tablets and ancient Sumerians and the texts that were written on cuneiform tablets, and that he was like, it's not like the Bible and it's not like other texts. It was written on these tablets, and that cannot be changed or fucked with and stuff like that. But it made me think, I'm like, if somebody was trying to make a really, really good fake and build a really, really fake religion, you can falsify like those tablets, right?
Yeah, it's like he was upset with you. It's like for
I mean,
burping.
you could try,
Yeah.
I wonder.
but why waste your time recreating cuneiform tablets to get people to follow you?
Right.
They're not going to know what they say anyway.
I'm going to put in the question too. Who's the one that the only person that could read it, the only person that translated it? What's his name?
Well, he was one of 5 people, as they
One of
say. But it
5?
was Zechariah Sitchin.
Yeah, I couldn't fucking remember that.
Sitchin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's like situation, but not
that,
Sitchin.
he's the one I guess that's most notable for it. But
Yeah.
it makes me wonder when somebody's like, we translated it, like what does that entail? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people translate it like the Hebrew Bible. And I want to know, what is the process of translation?
You read it, you summarize it. Or as he did, he just went line for line. Yeah.
But what if
I'm an
his,
expert on translations. I can't
Yes.
translate shit. I don't know how they do it.
what if his translations are off by a 10%?
Well, that's what like a
Degree.
majority of historical people seem to claim. They're like, no. He misinterpreted all kinds of things.
Oh.
Because I mean, as I understand it, like he's self-taught,
Oh, okay.
but I mean, I also get the idea that he's not just like some jackass that was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking learn the Sumerian stuff. You know, like he actually studied and was.
An intelligent
Yeah.
human being.
But you know, I don't know the guy.
No,
I find it interesting. I mean, even if he's not right, like word for word, it's still like, what the fuck, dude? Because I
Yeah.
mean, I could see if you mistranslate like a word, and then it's like, oh, well, that's a pretty important word. But I mean, the rest of the story is still like,
Still
so,
the
I mean,
story,
if they're
yeah.
praising like a bread basket, then you're like, well, that's not a bread basket. That's obviously something else.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I think it's worth looking further into the story, and that's why I'm very interested in, because I think he does like a series on that specifically,
Yeah.
and that's interesting to me. Even if, let's say, he's not like interpreting, I just want you to like give us the information, let us decide, shit like that. I think it's interesting the parallels that the ancient Sumerian text draws with.
Yeah.
Religion nowadays, and it came how many thousands of years before?
Yeah.
You know, and that
Thousands.
to be yeah,
Yeah.
that to be so close kind of makes you wonder, like, are we all just telling the same story?
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
kinda-
You
Yeah.
know?
It definitely feels that way.
It's like there was one story originally, and everyone's just like, well, we're just going to bring this into our religion.
Yeah.
We're going to claim it as ours
But
because
then it's like
no
the,
one will know.
the idea that, you know, there are so many flood stories throughout
Oh, yeah.
cultures. So I mean, you got the East and West, and everybody's like, yeah, it was a great flood, and it was all fucked up, and
Yeah.
you know, but then if we take the idea that there actually was a great flood, and then somebody carried the remnants of society, then of course we're gonna have the same story, because then it does come from the same
Source,
thing.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, and they said that even like Da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci was super interested
his last
in.
name is DiCaprio.
They were super interested in floods. What, you know what I mean? And disasters involving water. A lot of his paintings depict water and disasters, whatever. I'm probably paraphrasing all that, but you get what I'm saying. And
Yeah, he did a lot of work.
yeah, but they said like his locale, there would have been a lot of disasters involving water. And I'm not sure wherever he was, but whatever I was watching said that he was super close. So of course he saw a lot of disaster, and he was raised to the Catholic Church was huge during his time. So much, in fact, that he had to hide a lot of his works because the Catholic Church would have locked him away for doing so, especially like cutting the bodies
So I
apart.
feel like we can just say a blanket statement that the Catholic Church is full of fuck faces.
Yeah.
Not just in modern times, but like historically.
Right.
But you know, they do have the
Yeah. Yo, but if we're all telling the same story, right? I think
Right.
that, let's say Sumerian, whatever the first texts are, now let's just go back and say, hey, the ancient Sumerian texts on the tablets, that's the first known text of anything to do with religion or gods or whatever. You go back all the way to there. I think religions that progressed, you know, after the fact, some of them did them for the wrong reasons. And I would be apt to say that the Christian and Catholicism and all that, the Christian faith did it for like a monetary value or a control value or some shit like that, where the Sumerians were just laying out the story. They didn't tell you that you had to give 10% of your land or harvest to whoever, the king. They didn't say none of that. They just told you the story.
In my head, it's like, I don't want to catch shit from the hip-hop community, but whenever I think of like the Sumerian shit, it's like that stuff is Tupac and Biggie, right? And then like all the Western religions, we'll say, or like the newer rap.
The Lil Nas X's.
Yeah, like they're like, yeah, we carry nuggets of what was happening, but we're just in it for the money. Or
Yeah.
not to say the Biggie and Pac didn't get rich,
Right.
but they were laying down the truth,
Right.
so to speak.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. It was just, that's why it was so interesting to me, because it's baffling how many different religions kind of pretty much sound like the same story, and like a child born of a virgin virgin birth, all that shows up in a lot of different religions that don't have anything to do with each other. Then somebody brought something up while I was working with them.
Wait, what?
Somebody brought something up while I was working with them.
I thought you said name.
No.
You wanted us to name somebody, and then
No.
wait, that's not.
Jesus.
So he said, he was like, what if aliens came down a long time ago? And let's say there's a group of them. I like the number 12.
A gang of aliens.
12 disciples. I like 12, right? So 12 of them come down. They all speak different languages. They all look different. And they were all tailor-made for each individual, not community or anything, but each individual society that was on Earth.
Society isn't the word. It's culture.
Like old
country.
Old Europe, and somewhere over here, somewhere in Africa, some whatever. And all these people, they go around and they're trying to tell the truth to the people that live on Earth, and they're trying to convey this story or whatever. And they have to do it in different languages, and they do because they're aliens and they know.
And the Babylonian rules and stuff.
Babylonian.
Yeah. So you have, let's say 12 different aliens telling the same story across the thing, and people interpreted it different because they're different walks of life, but we're all generally praising to the same thing that came down a very long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a possibility, because there's so many parallels through all the religions.
Yeah.
Man, I forget what. There's fucking like in the Tom DeLonge book, it talks about that shit, like the general idea, but it's like the phenomenon, maybe is what it is, or contact or some shit. But yeah. It's like the general idea of, it's this thing, and it's just taking on a different life throughout the cultures and stuff. And
yeah.
Yeah.
It just grows.
Reasonable.
Yeah. It just fucking grows and changes and morphs to the time. And it's like in my opinion, the Christian religion right now is floundering in the fact that younger people, it's either an age of stupidity and just, no regard for whatever, or it's that we're waking up to the fact that like that is an oppressive form of.
Some people are, some people aren't. Because I mean, it's good to have like as a guiding general principle. People can look at it, and even if they don't want to think about things, they're like, "Oh, look at that! There's religion over there. There's some good in it."
Yeah.
But they don't want to dig any deeper. Right. And then it's like, oh, people are waking up. That's just people that are a little ahead of the masses, and that's just inevitable all the time.
All the time, yeah. Yo, so I was asking Sarah something, just kind of on the same lines as this. I was asking Sarah in the truck the other day. I was like, because of course we're in like a political landscape that is just absolutely messed up, right? But I thought the people who right now believe that like Trump should have been in and Trump got cheated, shit like that, right? What if, hear me out, right? They want him to come back. They want him to take the throne again.
Back.
So we're sure that he's probably going to run again next election, right?
Yeah.
Let's say he gets beat out by a different Republican candidate, right? Let's just say that. I'm just saying it. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Just say that.
Let's say hypothetically it's Sam Harris.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
And then people vote in a Republican, but not Trump, but it would be a Republican. Do you think the people that, believe the Q stuff and believe that Trump is coming back, that JFK Jr. is coming back, stuff like that. Do you think that they would be happy just because there was a Republican president again?
Do you think the Baptists would be happy if the Catholics were proven right?
No.
No.
So you're
So
saying
it is
that they
strictly
wouldn't.
about Trump. I
Yes.
feel like they'd be at least less angry.
They'd be less angry, yes, because it's not Sleepy Joe,
Yeah.
But
Right.
Because I was like, if they're happy come that day, the people that I know that are truly invested in the thought that he was cheated, all the Q stuff, and then all the other stuff, right? If they're happy when a Republican gets back in office, then you're just another political pawn, just like everybody that's ever been and ever was.
the Republicans are one thing, but the Trump people, they don't necessarily give a shit about Republican Party
Really?
winning things. No, that dude is a cult of personality to them. And
Yeah.
if it's Trump, great. If it's not, then it's just the I don't know, the Republican
Two-party
What's the thing?
bullshit.
what were they yelling about with like the Bernie shit?
Socialism.
Nah. Thanks for saying a word.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's like the political system, but it's not. God, I can't fucking think of the word.
No. You might, though. So if you do, yell it out. Not
Bipartisan.
yell. But no, and that's what I asked Sarah. I was like, I would love to see like a libertarian or a just really an undefined would be dope. Like an undefined, we're just going to like redo the system. Let's start over. Let's build. I would love a democratic socialist. So what is it? Bernie Sanders called it what?
Yeah, he's democratic socialist.
Socialist. Okay. And then so many people heard
Nailed
socialist and then was like, that's communism, blah, blah, blah.
Get
like,
him outta
Are we
here.
living in the fucking 50s and 60s? People like
Yeah.
socialism, it would be, his ideal of how it should work would be much better than what we're currently doing.
For who?
Just, I mean, all around everybody. It would give you material value in life.
Yes, but the all around everybody that would benefit from a guy like that, they don't have any power. And people
Right.
with power that wouldn't benefit from something like that are like, no, keep this motherfucker out of here. He's gonna take away power from us.
Oh, yeah.
It's like those
And that's,
assholes that don't want equality in the world. People are like, privilege, like, I don't remember what it is. But it has to do with if everybody's equal, then the things that you took for
right.
privilege and shit, it's like, oh, that seems like it's unfair, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But, if we help out the common man, then the people that are above the common man don't really have anything.
Don't have anything.
And who wants that?
Nothing.
If your dog eats steak every day, what good is steak for you?
What is steak anymore?
Yeah.
Well, look, so check this out. We're in this huge look, this just goes to show you, like, either that or they're fucking with us. You ready for it? I got one for you.
Probably, yeah.
Got one for you. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and we were talking about, like, the shortages and that they're setting us up for, like, demise here in the winter. It's going to be hard. They're going to
Yeah.
jack up gas price, all this other shit, right? So it got me thinking. I was like, Apple, right? Just keep this in mind. Apple came out with like 15 different like iMacs, Mac Minis,
All the phones.
Mac Pros, all the phones, the 4 different phones, and they sold millions of all these things already. And they just rolled them out not a few months ago, right? Just a few months ago, right? For the last year and a half, we have had this huge to where they're not building new cars, they're not building new computer stuff. We've had this chip shortage, right? But lo and behold, looky, Apple has an entire line of all these phones and chips and all that, and they roll it out and they sell it. So either A, they're fucking lying to us, B, they have a monopoly on all the fucking chips, or C, they made these motherfuckers 2 years ago and just been keeping them on the shelf to sell to us, dumb motherfuckers.
Yes. What do you think?
What do you think the option is here?
Well, I think
Tell
it's just
us
like
about the chips.
America having a bunch of gas. It's like the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Apple has ungodly amounts of money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's
see
what
that for
that's
sure.
what I'm getting at, is the fact that they have such an amount of money that
Well,
they prevail.
See,
when
the
it
part
comes
where I
to shortage.
disagreed with you is to say a monopoly.
Oh.
That's absurd.
Well, yeah, because technically they can't. But don't they get? Isn't there a loophole, Ian, to monopoly?
Yes, money.
You think these people they found a loophole to that shit? They're like,
Right.
but and then Sarah said, well, maybe they're making them in house, like the chips and shit. Maybe they had an abundant amount of silicon or whatever. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because they started like the new lines all have like the M1 and A18s that all came from Apple.
Well, I guess contractually speaking, it seems like it would be a good idea to have a long-term contract with your suppliers for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're kind of grandfathered in.
Right.
It's like, oh, we've been getting our chips from this motherfucker for years, you know?
Jew.
Yeah.
Get on that. There's the camera has stopped recording.
Oh no.
Adam's gonna set that straight.
But just the idea that perhaps, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they maybe had like a back stock of it. They just keep a shit ton there.
I could see it, but I mean, they also have the thing where, like in Apple stores, you know, like if you trade in your old crap, you can get new shit. So I mean, they're recycling in a sense.
Yeah.
That's what I always figured that whole like trade-in deal was about, is like the recycling what they can, because a lot of like the new stuff, they'll use the same like headphone jacks and track pads and even the LCD screens and shit like that. They don't throw that shit away. What do you think they do? They throw it away and just like, thanks for recycling.
That shit's not cheap.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't just take out their shit and blow it up.
No. And that's, I think, where that program comes in handy, and it's a benefit to the world for them to do that. But I think they could give more on your fucking trade-in.
Yeah, they definitely could.
You con men.
That trade-in shit was crazy.
You still love them.
Oh, dude, I do.
Hell yeah.
And that's what the fucked up thing is. I told Sarah, so even if they were doing some shady shit, I like their product so much that I
And
don't
they have
necessarily
sweatshops in
care.
China. Of course they're on that shady shit.
You think they do have?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably been proven, right?
Yeah, it
But they
has.
can get away with it because China's like, we don't care.
Like they were
Right.
That
They're
was
on
where
their
they
side.
put. I mean, it was where they put nets outside of the.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
How weird
Assuming
is that,
that's
dude?
not like an old wives'
No,
tale.
dude, I've heard that a lot of places,
not.
and they've taken pictures of those
It's
buildings.
not.
And it's rough to a lot of in China. They're trying to stand up for like a better workplace, a better livelihood.
Right.
And
They say
honestly,
they
man, they're
are.
shutting them down.
Yeah.
Like that guy, the Chinese government don't give a fuck about none of them. They don't care.
No.
Wait, and I
No
don't
government
think, I would
does.
say I don't think U.S. does either. Any like we know that we're the lowest as far as like livelihood
China
and all
doesn't
that
even
shit.
pretend.
No, China just
No,
lets them
we
know.
know.
Russia doesn't either.
Russia's another one. Yeah, they just let them know like,
Yeah.
well, you're here to stay.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're more than welcome to find your own way, but under this umbrella, we don't give a fuck.
look at there's another one. South Korea. Which one's the worst one? North or South?
North.
North.
Yeah.
Oh God. Could you imagine being born into North Korea?
Yeah. That's where I was born.
How'd you make it
Yeah,
out?
that's where
twice.
we are right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
I know.
The walls fall down and shit. The facade's gone.
You've been punked for 30 years.
The VR goggles are pulled off of us. Like, what the
God,
fuck happened?
What if we were there and we just didn't know?
Get the barbed wire bat out of his ass. It's reality time, bitch.
It hurts.
Reality. No, man. I just I don't know, man. I just fear that we're either being lied to or manipulated.
Both.
And I don't like to think that way because in my older age, I've been trying to keep an open mind like, hey, life is just crazy. Crazy shit happens, and there's usually a simple explanation for that craziness, right? We're at a point now that the craziness is like overtaking the rational thought. You know what I mean? And it's like, it is worse than like 2008. I remember that. And I remember when gas prices were $4 or $5. I remember all that shit. But it did not last. And people who were essential, like my parents and stuff, just like this time around, they weren't really nothing really changed. You know, we didn't lose anything that we, you know. And I think about that now. I'm like, well, I wonder I wonder how hard it has been in the past and how weird it's been in the past compared to now. Because we might just be perceiving it as truly fucked up.
Right.
But for American people, we've been pretty comfortable for the last
Forever.
50, 60, 70 years. 100 if you're counting. Or probably 100.
No.
It's a little
There's
bit better.
depression.
Well, I mean,
Oh yeah, I guess that was
Oh, it
1920.
was,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So
it
I mean, if
would
we
be.
start counting, I'd say from like the 50s, maybe.
Right.
You're a little comfortable.
Yeah.
But it didn't really take off till the 80s, and it was just like gangbusters.
I would have liked to be back. I've liked to been back in the time of like Henry Ford, Tesla, all that shit. When it like
See
you
what it
could
was
be a
about.
great creator. You could be a great thing. You could be a trailblazer.
Do you not have enough rats around you now?
No. I would be the cleaning crew.
Got
that
too
cleaned
many
up the rats.
too many black people visible on your commute there, Adolf. No, it's cool.
That's
I'm
no.
breaking your balls.
I'm just saying, like, now it's like it's way easier to start a company, do things, stuff like that. But it's way harder to be ahead of the curve or think about something that is just truly innovative. Like, because we haven't had that since the internet and that big boom
There's
from
a lot of
2001 all the
shit,
way up. But it's like, what do you do at this point other than doing like normal shit? I believe like starting an electrical company. That's normal
It's
shit.
just like playing an RPG. Like you think, oh, I'm level 27, killing the level 1 shit's easy. But when you're level 1, it's like, this shit fucking sucks. And it doesn't matter if we level up. We're like level 57, but we still have to fight level 73 villains, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's easier now, but where do we go next? And back then, it was like, well, it was simpler. Where do we go from there? And
Right.
it's just
Right, so much
leap
easier.
after leap. So
There's nothing that
Yeah,
exists,
it
so
was
it's
just-
easy to create.
yeah, it just seems easy in retrospect because it's there. But
Yeah.
Right.
until it's there, it's just the same struggle all the time.
I guess too, it's just more advanced now.
And it goes
Things-
faster.
Yeah,
Way
definitely.
faster.
It does go faster, but it also kind of feels like it's topped out for a while. I feel like we've plateaued.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so. And that's what, like, your great creators, or even, you know, the iPhone for that matter, they really haven't. They've been putting the same camera system in it since, what, the 11?
Don't say that. Your camera's better than mine.
Look,
You traded up for a reason.
I did because I had, like, one camera and it didn't do 4K and all this shit. I have a theory on this, man. Man.
What do you got?
I think they just keep, like, because, like, which one do you got? The 11 Pro? Pro Max.
11. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
Skull Servant.
I think what they do is they take the trade-ins
What's its name?
and then they
Oh.
just replace, like, they just put the old ones into the new ones, and then they're like, check this out. Like, they recycled the last year's best into this year's, like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It progresses incrementally.
I'm starting not to trust Apple, man.
Oh, you'll never stop trusting them
don't
until a video comes out of like the CEO raping a baby. You're just gonna be like, yeah, I'll suck Apple's dick, and I will too.
Yeah,
Right
but
Yeah,
there
I'll keep
with
on
ya.
sucking their Apple's dick.
Just keep it
Yeah,
out of my
Apple
eye.
apple
It
dicks.
Apple dicks. I am, dude. That's what I
doesn't
told
taste
Sarah.
like apple.
I hope it does, bro. Or at least like metal.
Ah,
Yeah, like
No.
the laptops. Like
that sounds
metal,
horrible.
Yeah,
aluminum
I
alloy.
don't like that.
Let me get that aluminium apple dick.
Aluminum.
It hurts my teeth.
Oh.
But it's
And my
just
soul.
odd. That's why I told Sarah that it's odd because my laptop runs great. And we were talking about this last week. It fucking runs great. I love it. Always loved it. But they come out with like the M1 integrated memory bank and it all and I was like, man, I wonder how much better that is. And it's like fucking $4,000
Yeah,
for
it's
like
crazy.
So obviously it works a little better.
That's what they say, but I'm wondering, I bet it don't work that well.
I
Come
mean,
on,
I bet
man.
it works fine, but it's not $4,000
$4,000.
I
That's
assume
crazy.
it's for people that are like top of the line content creators.
Yeah.
Right.
It would have to be.
It's
right?
like if you're doing some like computer generated editing and shit all the time,
Yeah.
you'll notice a difference.
Right.
But if you're just listening to like some ska, it's like,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't really matter.
It'd be like, why? It would be me having it. Why would I need
Yes.
that? It makes no sense.
I can have 120 windows open.
I don't like more than 5. I have 2 screens. I put 2 things over here and everything else is over here. Anything beyond that, like those few things is too much for me.
It's too goddamn much.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Get out of here.
It's such a hassle to fucking move this, to grab this. It's stupid.
Can I get a computer with memory from like the 90s?
It's perfect
all I
for
need.
me.
But I don't know. That's looking into all the new cameras because we're trying to like do more for like filming.
What?
We're looking into like new DSLRs and shit like
I
that.
know what
Apple doesn't make Apple doesn't make DSLRs are probably buy it no matter how much it costs, right?
Yeah.
But I've said this argument on here before. There is like 5 big competing companies. Competing companies, my
I
fault.
like competing.
Yeah.
It sounded right to me.
That have 1,000,001 different models of practically the same thing, but give or take like a 10-bit rate or a fucking 4K this, 60, whatever. And so you got those, and then 100, let's say 100. That's being fucking like, okay, like Sony and Fujifilm and Panasonic, all these people just make a really dope camera and put that out. And Sarah's like, well, that would be a monopoly and we can't do that. And I realize that. I get it. But for this brain and for just like simplicity, why fucking come up with all these
Yeah, you
options?
don't need thousands.
That's why we're all
crazy.
depressed and anxious, because we got so many options.
Too many.
And we always think we're lacking because we don't have the greatest of all those options. There is no greatest.
That's the
of all
sheep mentality.
Sheet.
Yeah.
Sheep.
Sheet.
Oh, the sheep.
That's the sheep mentality, man. Always wanting the best thing instead of thinking for yourself. You're a fucking sheet. Sheet.
I just thought like blanket, like you're throwing it
Yeah.
and covering everything. I don't know. I don't know. My brain doesn't seem to be functioning right today. I have nothing
like
to
it.
say.
Oh no!
It
I
went
looked
somewhere
over.
I didn't expect.
I looked over at Sarah like, kind of looking for a response, and I just saw like a blank.
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's exactly how I feel. I have no words. I haven't had one thing that I thought about interjecting. Nothing.
So what do you got going on up there?
Absolutely nothing.
It's peaceful, yeah.
Yeah, it's sure peaceful. I was sitting here thinking, I wonder what time it is, so I know when I need to put the cornbread in. That's it.
It's good that you're paying attention to things.
I know what time it is.
I
Sorry, Adam.
Oh no, you're good. I was just wondering. I'm like, man, something's going over. Like gears are turning over there.
Yeah.
No gears are
I
turning.
feel like it never turned on today.
Rape.
Yes, absolutely. I kind of don't like that though.
No, I hate days that like
Yeah.
you just can't. There's no way to get out of it.
Yeah.
There's just like blank fucking
Uh-huh.
nothing. Nothing. You ever had those days?
Yeah, I'm fine with them.
Yeah, you like them, don't you?
Yeah.
It makes me feel bad, like, I don't know, like, because he's like in a good mood, like he's been looking up stuff and I just have nothing to add to the conversation. Like, I'm glad that he's excited about things, and I want to be excited too, but I'm just nothing. I'm a blank slate.
Just don't cut it down.
Yeah.
Say, oh, hell yeah, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I can't add to that, but good on you.
Yeah. I can't even ask like a follow-up question. I love that camera. I can't even ask like a follow-up question.
You can just say, follow-up question. And let him fill in the blank.
Yes.
Give me some extra info on that, baby.
Yes. Tell me more.
Because I found in general, I don't know about him, the way his brain works, but whenever I'm excited about something and I'm rambling, it's like Casper doesn't even really have to ask me follow-up things. Just let it be known that I can keep talking.
Yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yes.
And that's enough for me.
Yeah, there's definitely times where that applies.
There's
For
especially like if there's like rough weeks and shit. There's times where like I'm listening, but I'm just like so drained that I'm like, there's no response ever gonna
Right.
come. I feel bad for that, but I'm like, we have like an agreement. Like if that like we just like being in the presence, and then like one person will just stop. Every now and then we get annoyed at each other, but it's not to a point that it causes
Always
an
with
issue.
your mouth breathing.
Yeah. Speaking of mouth breathing, dude, I was at this vape shop and this dude was like, I was going to every time you walk in, it's like they get nervous that somebody's walking in to buy something, so they all hit their vape at the same time. I swear, next time you go in, check them out. They all hit it at the same time and it's fucking annoying. Anyways, so I go up to this thing and I'm like, hey, let me get blah, 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 like the one I always get. And he was like, cool, dude. He was like, I will hook you up with 2 of them for 10% off if you buy the second one, you know. And I'm like, you know what, I'll do that. But the entire time, this is how he was taught. He was taking the payment, not saying a word, but doing this. And it was the loudest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yes.
And I was like, is that babe juice going to do it to me like it's doing it to you? Because if so, you can
I'll
have
pass.
the 10%. I don't want it.
Is it gonna ruin my brain function that much?
Yes.
Tell you, if the dude ever hears this podcast, he's gonna know it's him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I work at a vape shop
do
and
it
I
every day.
snore while I'm standing up.
I've
That's me.
never understood like true mouth breathers. Like, why do you not breathe through your nose?
I'm a mouth breather when I'm laying down,
Yeah.
just because my shit's fucked up. But
No.
yeah,
That's what I've always thought, like if your nose is messed up, I can understand, but I feel like there's a lot of genuine mouth breathers, and there's not that many messed up noses. I know. Well, and it's one thing to breathe through your mouth; it's another to be loud about it.
yeah. I
You
know
don't
it's
need
like
that.
I'm a mouth chewer, but you know, not everybody needs to.
I know.
I hate
And-
that fucking shit.
I just say when I was younger, I would chew gum, and if I did, that's why I chew with my mouth closed now, man. My mom, even if I was chewing food, and we chewed with her mouth open just a little bit, dude, she would turn
Pop
around
you
and
one.
backhand you, whoa, like that, just and you knew like not to do it. It stopped us from fucking chewing with her mouth open really quick.
Not
But-
rude anymore.
So,
No.
I want to be that kind of parent, but like not like an aggressive, like loud, angry parent, but just like whenever they're doing something, you just backhand them.
Yeah.
Like you keep your pleasant demeanor and stuff. You're like, I love the shit out
Love
of you,
you.
buddy, but no more of that.
No shit. My mom would hit me all the time. Not hit me all the time, but she I think it's
She
because
would
she's
strike you.
Yeah, she's a shorter lady, so I feel like growing up with nothing but boys for children, and then and around a bunch of guys, she always felt like she had exerted herself. Not to mention she was born in the fucking ghetto,
Yeah.
so she just had to be a different person, right?
Adam's mom is born in the ghetto.
Too. But so she used to do that. She would hit me all the time. She hit me the day I walked out of jail the first time. She hit me, but she hit me one time because she thought I said the F word and I didn't. She punched me in the mouth. But my dad's only hit me one time, and that's all it took for me to feel like an inch tall, bro. I broke my brother's finger because my brother punched me in the face, and his finger went in my mouth. And I bit as hard as I could, and it broke this shit right before
That's his
vacation.
motherfucking fault.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I
Don't
felt
put
so
your
bad
finger in my
for it.
mouth.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for it, man. I was like, it was just a reaction or whatever. My dad, man, fucking, like, he was like, get over here. And he would, like, hit me in the face. And,
Scorpion,
man, from then on, I was like, I'll never do anything to get hit by my... I don't know what the difference was. Mom would hit us all the time. I guess it's just mom was the enforcer.
Right.
Dad was
doesn't
like...
do that.
Women
Dad
are
don't do
loose
that.
cannons. If
Yeah.
your dad hits you, you
You know
fucked
you
up on the
fucked
level
up,
of
bro.
a man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you fucked up. Yeah, he popped me one good, and I was like, that's crazy. He didn't even hit me like that hard, but I knew
Right.
he could if he wanted to.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Weird.
muscle under there.
No.
That's it's rough though. I think nowadays, either that parents are too scared to do it, they're too lazy to do it, or they're afraid that their child would like be able to press charges. Because nowadays, like kids have like rights and stuff.
Well, and you don't need to. There's no reason that your parents should have hit you. You shouldn't have been hit in the fucking mouth
Right.
for maybe saying the F word. That's a ridiculous thing to do.
Yeah.
That's
I mean-
a little off the rails.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I'm sure there are still parents who like spank their kid, like their ass or their hand,
Yeah.
like things like that.
I'm gonna bust that ass.
Hell yeah. I still think that shit is acceptable when necessary.
reason.
Yeah, not
yeah,
I
when it
spilled
calls
my
for it.
milk. It's, you know, you really fucked up. But I don't know. It just seems crazy to me.
I mean, there seems to be a pretty heavy wave of parenting advice to where it's like, you don't have to hit your kids.
Yeah.
You can raise them without hitting them.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
People didn't know.
Well, at least that we know of.
Yeah.
I don't know about parenting in the 1800s.
I do. It wasn't.
Go shuck that corn, boy.
Yeah.
I don't know if them children acted up. I think they were too weak from all the malnutrition and shit.
Cholera
They were
never
just
shit.
killed anybody.
like, whatever you want, I don't care. You know what I mean? They worked them to death, boy. That's it. That's the thing. We have it good. You ever remember that show on TV? It was the fuck was that show? It was Little House on the Prairie, right? They made that shit look so like beautiful and shit. No.
Yeah.
If we go back, tell the true story, okay? Tell the true story. Them children getting beat or fucked. One of the two.
Yes.
One of the two, because they lived in a little house of prairie. The mom was uglier than fuck. The dad's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? They had that weird cousin.
Probably a robber baron running around, raping people.
Raping people. Bears are... The shit was rough back then. That's what I'm trying to say. Rough. And they had no, like, checks and balances, right? They were just
Yeah, but I
running
mean,
them up.
still, visually, it's pretty.
It was pretty. Oh, you saying the other... The latter was pretty. Oh, the bear raping. I got you. I got
Pretty
you.
bear?
It's a pretty bear.
Pretty bear rape.
That would
Pretty
be...
bear
That would
rape.
not be a gentle ass fucking. It would not be gentle at all.
Plus,
It'd be
your
rough.
skin would be all ripped up from the claws.
Yeah.
It'd be terrible.
Little melted from the heat.
Ripped and melted.
I got raped by a bear and part of my skin melted.
Sounds terrible.
And then, like, another one that I wouldn't want to live through was, like, the Dust Bowl. That would have been rough to live through. There's no comfortability there. And it's shit. The dust apparently, like, covered it was in everything.
That's why you never know when a spoon's going to come down on you.
It's not like a constant tornado. Just throwing cars and shit.
Do you think we're headed for
Whipping
another
them
Dust Bowl?
around.
The way we treat the earth and the way
I'd
we
say
don't
it's
put
possible.
nutrition back into the soil, we'll use, like, liquid nutrients and shit. You think we're headed for
I
another?
think it's like a shitty parent blaming their kid for it raining. Like, the world's fucked anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
No,
But
yeah.
inevitably.
Inevitably. That's I worry, man. That's things that we were talking last week about, like, growing pains, and they happen over a period of time, and you don't really notice it until you're just like old and you're hurt as fuck, and you're like, why did I get this old? Kill me.
Yes.
And
I can't
and I
think
wonder,
of a next line.
like, with the earth, you know, the shit has grown over a course of time, and the heat, like, gets hotter over a course of, you know,
My
a long
God,
period.
the
You don't
heat.
notice it. Your body's kind of acclimates to it,
Right.
but then eventually it gets past that threshold of acclimation, and you can't live in it.
You're just
And
boiling.
And you're boiling. You don't know. You're like the frog in the pot. That the heat was raised slowly, which
Yeah.
is a myth. We've been taught that since we were kids. That's a myth too.
I've seen it.
Come on, man.
I boiled frogs
I would like to.
on my farm.
Did you take a video
On my
your
farm.
Was it a little house in prayer?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Awesome.
Robber baron rapist going around. I was like, I'm boiling a frog. I don't see it. He let me live. Rape free.
I think if I
nice.
lived in that time, I would definitely be trying to head out west to California. Even if I was, like, pretty sure I'm going to die,
All right.
like they all did, I would be like, it's a chance I'm willing to take, man.
You
Sorry.
get scalped.
Well, there's
Maybe,
risk. There's
maybe
risk
not.
in life.
Yeah.
You can get scalped in the east.
Yeah, you can get scalped to the day. Like,
Get scalped in your own house.
yeah, it's a weird
Done.
place we live in, man. No, that's
Take his head top.
I don't know, man. This age of technology and buying for stuff. I got people that, like, I watch them, like, buy just, like, random shit and stuff. And I told her it's like the phones. Like, I've been having a real rough time, like, mentally and, like, emotionally, I guess you would say too. And when we were going to buy the phones, I swear to God to you, I told her that I thought that, like, it's stupid to say, I thought that the phone would, like, getting the new phone, the new capabilities, the new this and that, would make me feel better about the current situation, let's say.
I mean, like, politically?
No, like, internally. Like just me mentally and shit.
Okay.
It's just been rough, like with work and fucking exhausting. And I don't have time to do like the stuff that I want to do, shit like that. It's just been rough. So then I was like, if I get this phone, I can do all this other stuff, and it allowed me to do this and that, and 4K this, and fucking apps that. And then I got the phone, and then guess what? Not a motherfucking thing
Didn't
changed.
feel better.
Nothing.
That's
I felt
sad.
maybe for like 5 seconds. I felt great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, when
then
you got the phone.
Yeah,
Yes.
I get a new phone and I'm walking on air.
yeah,
I think this is great.
but it made me think about a lot of people that have issues with spending. A lot of people who just buy irrationally things that they don't need, right? Which we put the phone to use. You put the phone to use when you buy something and you know you're going to use it. And hopefully one day that builds into something that you can be profitable from and bring in money.
Right.
And most of my hobbies and projects, they bring an income of sorts, right? Except for this one yet, but we plan
One
on
day.
it getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's the big difference. Like if you truly need it, or is it going to bring you revenue indefinitely, right? At some point, it doesn't have to be right away, but at
Right.
some point, don't buy shit and just let it
Nothing's
sit.
right away.
Yeah, I've learned that the hard
You're
way.
the Jonas Brothers.
But do you think that people buy irrationally and spend like that for the same reason that I thought that the phone
Right.
would make me emotionally feel better?
Yes.
Because you're dead inside and stupid and
Yeah.
devoid of direction. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess too, and it's how you, like, if you're raised differently, then you believe that those things. It wasn't the poverty, it wasn't the mindset, it wasn't the no education. It was because we didn't have money. And if I have money and I can buy things,
Right.
that's what.
That's an
happiness
implication that I've
is.
leveled up. So I mean, to a degree, yeah, that makes sense.
There's definitely a lot of people out there who buy shit just to try and make themselves feel better. That's why they continuously buy stupid shit that they don't need. People who
Yeah.
have no money but complain about being broke, their bills aren't paid, but then they go out and buy something that they don't need because it makes them feel better.
Towing in my Jordans. Yeah.
Yeah, makes
Like,
them feel good for, 5 minutes.
We popped by Barnes and Noble earlier. I was gonna get some shit. There was a book there I wanted. There was a movie that I wanted. I didn't get either of them. I said,
Good.
I'll get something later.
Yeah, hell yes.
Casper and her infinite capitalist pigness. Got 2 fucking books.
Oh, this bitch.
Nah, it's cool. I was
You've
happy
been-
she found some.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy to find something in that place.
Yeah.
Everything is awesome.
What
in my
place was
in
it?
my head, it was like
Barnes and Noble.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be able to read this right now because I'm still finishing a book now.
Mm.
I have another one lined up, so it's like, well,
It's
What's
gonna
the
sit
hurry?
there for a while.
yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
do like having them around though.
Uh-huh.
I organized our bookshelf yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt good.
It is awesome having books. I just love them. I don't really ever read them, but I love them.
I'm starting to more.
Yeah.
I'm just slowly getting there. It's like ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be
Yeah.
a hardcore reader, but I just couldn't sit still.
No.
And I'm getting a little better at sitting still.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
yeah.
Are you texting?
You
Yeah.
fucking bitch!
I'm sorry.
Look
Ta-
at this guy
taking care
over
of some
here,
stuff.
touching his own balls under the table
Ball touching
on camera.
on a Sunday.
Sorry about that.
On a Sunday.
Maybe I was gonna turn it off, but then it just kept like doing the thing, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just answer this.
You could just
The
not.
thing.
I know.
You mean being lit up because you're using it? Is that? I'm playing mine too. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No, I was just say, yeah, yours is just playing like in the background.
I let
No, I was
mine
trying to,
go
like, send
so
an
that my
address.
dragons can do things.
Yeah.
If those games, especially the ones that are like pay to play and shit, it's so much better to just open it up and let the phone run. If you got your shit set up correctly,
Right.
and let it run, because I wouldn't pay for that shit. It's a fortune. That is a fortune to pay to
The
play.
great Dan likes to spend fortunes on games.
And think about
He
this.
does, man. He loves that shit.
Well, and it gives you that sense of like, if you got all the shit and stuff, you're like doing great in the game.
yeah.
You feel good about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That happens.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Oh, I was gonna say I've definitely spent like some money on games.
absolutely.
Yeah, but
But like the most recent Marvel game, I forget, Ultimate Alliance, maybe.
mm-hmm.
Like, it came out like 3 days prior, and he was like, I don't even want to tell you how much I spent on this. Jesus, dude.
It's so crazy.
Oh, dude, it is crazy. Because, I mean, the amount of money that you can spend on them is crazy. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, though, if you enjoy it or whatever, and then there's, like, deals within those games, that make sense. You know, if you're going to buy, you might as well buy when there's a deal.
Right.
And shit like that. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that just, they have, like, 4 or 5 of those games, and they pay on every single one of them.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I'm fine spending money occasionally on a game, but I mean the types of people that are out there wailing on things. It's like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but then again, if I had that kind of money, I'd.
Yeah, man. See, that's what I told Sarah too, and maybe that's the reason why it never happened or whatever. But if there was like an abundant one day, like we come up with some great idea or some shit, which probably never happened statistically, or something like a good channel or whatever.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah, the odds are fucking stacked against
What did I just tell you?
They're stacked against you. I didn't tell you specifically.
Sarah Adams not listening to me.
I just told you they're stacked.
Why?
Hardcore. So think about this.
Why aren't you listening?
So it's
He
probably
gets his
never going to
rocks
happen.
off knowing the odds.
But if it was to, there'd be some. I wouldn't question as much. I would just buy, right? The things that I want to just buy. And that's the crazy thing about these like companies that make high-end products is they have to recognize that most people can't pay direct, and it's a huge decision for them. So how do you make that easier for somebody? Like involve payments or some type of program for these people, right? And you would sell more products.
Yeah.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
That's what
Statistically, I'm not going to have the abundant amount of money I
Oops,
can
sorry.
just throw.
That's Amazon now you can do like payment plans. I think Etsy does too, where if you can't afford something, you can, pay.
Yeah.
It's got to be like in a month or some shit like that.
4 easy payments of $39.99.
Yeah. That way more people will buy shit. That's crazy.
I'm telling you that, and then I don't know. This whole like the buying products, all that shit. Like I want a lot of things, but I'm not willing to fucking like. I just feel degraded when you have to go through all these products and you have to fight over these companies are fighting over your attention and an advertisement for this and this, and none of them are truthful. And then half the people you watch on YouTube, they've gotten the free camera from said company, and they're talking it up like it's a shit because they got a free product.
Right.
So half the time you have to really, really trust the person you're listening to.
Well, you see, the thing here is if you just watch Netflix and have an ad blocker on the computer, you don't see ads ever.
I was thinking, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who do just like talk up whatever product they're talking about because they were asked to. But, I have my drag queens that I watch, and one of them does makeup. And it's like the only makeup.
Only one of them?
I'm sure a lot of them do, but hers are they're the only makeup things I watch. And the companies send him, whatever you want to call him, all kinds of makeup. So I always expect like really positive reviews. She talks so much shit. It's awesome. It makes me so happy.
That's awesome.
And I've never seen a video like that where someone has been asked to review a product and she's like, it's terrible.
Every now and then you'll find somebody that's like, they give you nothing but the cons. They're like, these are all the cons. They'll show you like the pros, but like, look, these are all the cons that you're going to run into. I like that review. Like that review I can kind of trust and get behind.
Hell yeah. I need to know what's wrong with shit.
Yeah.
As I'll figure out what's good with it. Like, yeah.
I mean, look at the color,
Yeah.
Obviously, it's makeup.
Yeah.
Why does it suck?
It's not even covering my face. It's bad.
It hovers 3 inches above my skin.
It'd be weird.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Stick that thumb up your ass, Adam. I'm
will.
never done.
I play with my butthole all the time.
End it. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Butthole play.
Dude, we appreciate every one of our listeners joining us
thanks,
again.
Guy.
Yeah, thank you all for watching. I mean, because look, we may only have like 20 or so on the first like week of views. They do go up, but we appreciate the 20 that check in every fucking week.
Yeah.
This every week we get 20 people take time out of their day to
All you
was
losers
cool.
with nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for.
I don't even watch this all the time. The first week.
No, I'll
Fuck
pick them
that.
out later, but yeah, much later sometime.
I can't tell you the last time I watched one of ours.
Ah,
I know.
No,
for shame.
Yeah, I'll
Sorry.
watch them and then pick out little sections of them too, man. But no, we appreciate you listening to episode 127. I'm Adam Ashby. That's Ian Galaxy. That's
Yeah,
Sarah
I'm
Ashby.
Sarah.
Hey, was Couch being a bitch last time?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. He was nervous
Probably.
earlier.
Oh. I don't think so,
Oh,
but
sorry.
I'll have
All
to
right, wrap it
watch
up,
it and
He was
let him know.
nervous.
Yeah. He asked me in the parking lot at the movie. He was like, who was being a bitch last time? And I was like, well, I mean, you seem kind of nervous about it.
It's awesome.
It was definitely me. If you go
Yeah.
back and watch, it says
Everyone
you all
said
said
it.
it. So I
I
know.
don't remember you being a bitch last time either, though.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I feel like you're
Adam,
not,
the
actually.
house bitch Ashby.
House bitch. No, thank you all for listening. That was another episode. We'll see you again next week. But
Bye.
Not brought to you by Deer Park Water.
Bippity.
Bottled in Mexico.
Wildly uninteresting podcast.